This has to be the most unprecedented time in wrestling history. WWE now airs on Netflix. The merger of the WWE and UFC forming TKO was something spontaneous. Kayfabe of all things is being shattered inside of Unreal, and TMZ announces that
Hulk Hogan has died.
Wrestling legend Hulk Hogan has died.
Hang on, TMZ? He's dead!
TMZ's, yeah. Yeah?
R.I.P. You daft racist. Who also helped change wrestling.
Anytime that you consider the Mount Rushmore in the top 10 of wrestling all time, Hogan is always going to be in that top 10. But right now, you know, with the social climate and the things that he said and done and his lack of effort to try to fix it, people are going to come down on it.
Okay, so I didn't grow up watching Hulk Hogan, and honestly, I don't go out of my way to watch his old matches either. I know bits about his feud with the Iron Sheik in 1984, or the tag team match he had with Mr. T of all people. Even growing up, seeing him in the NWO, I just never thought he fit as that guy. I never got into Hulk as a character. But without the Hulkster himself, the WWE, or maybe wrestling as a whole, wouldn't even be what it is today. But we're not here to talk about his accolades. I'm not even here to talk about the entirety of his, well, fucked up legacy outside of his wrestling persona, especially as a black man myself, and the infamous leaked video he has. Yeah, you know the one. I definitely have my opinions on him too. However, there's something dark that surrounds his death in the culture of the internet. There was an article posted on TMZ June 18th with the headline stating that Hulk Hogan was rumored to be on his deathbed. One source told TMZ that Hulk wasn't on his last legs, but that he was hospitalized for lingering neck and back issues, but again doubled down saying that the Immortal wasn't on his deathbed. Someone I'd never even heard of until making this video was Bubba the Love Sponge, who is a YouTuber and podcaster that seems to cover sports, wrestling, and the typical drama you'd probably see on Pyrocynical's channel. The connection between these two is basically Hogan made a tape with this guy Bubba's wife. Yup. With that being said, these two have had a feud longer than the Bloodline storyline. Bubba, on his live stream the same day the article was made, alleged that Hogan didn't have much time left.
So listen, I don't know this to be true. Rumor has it, word on the street.
Well, how reliable are your sources? I mean,
pretty damn reliable, but I still want to frame it, Seth, in case he got discharged last night at midnight, and I've not been able to talk to my sources, since yesterday. 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
So my sources are that, and I don't know it to be true. Rumor has it. Allegedly, Hogan is in the hospital, and I've heard people say that he might not make it.
Oh.
And I don't know if this is going to create, it should create a feeding frenzy amongst reporters in the wrestling industry and maybe even in pop culture to check this out. But he's not doing well. He's not in good shape. And
what happened?
I think it's a heart issue.
Oh.
I think he had a neck. I've been told that he publicly talked about a
neck fusion surgery.
A neck fusion surgery. I don't think it's I don't know if it's complications to that, but
it happened, looks like 4 weeks ago.
The Immortal and his team were keeping his health under wraps for a little over a month. One account of this was Kevin Nash talking on his podcast about a video he saw of Hogan in the hospital.
I saw a thing on the internet. He had to take a deuce before they would let him out of the hospital. So he's sitting on the toilet in the hospital, and he's cutting kind of a promo going, basically, well, I walked in there and these walls were yellow, man. He goes, man, they're not yellow anymore. Like he was just, and he kind of seemed like he was, in good spirits. So I saw that, but this is after he passed. And it was like dated 2 or 3 days earlier. And I was just like, because I was really kind of hot at some people that I was getting information from.
You thought you were being kayfabed?
Yeah.
And another was Jimmy Hart in a now deleted tweet stating, Hulk is doing great, doing phenomenal. Last night at karaoke with Nick was absolutely fantastic, baby. And 48 hours later, everyone got the news. From a mainstream standpoint, I believe the 4 names that the majority of the world would know from wrestling are The Rock, John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and of course, Hulk Hogan. Because of him being such a polarizing figure, I believe his PR team, his friends, and his wife were only trying to protect him from the media. But let's face it, the internet doesn't take anything seriously. Something big happens in the current news, there's a meme made not even 5 minutes later. Will Smith slaps Chris Rock. It was memed immediately. And I can't say I'm surprised to see, well, as dark as all this is, as much as I'm not a fan of Hogan for many reasons, this should be an example on why you have to be the best version of yourself that you can be. We can't all sit here and say that we haven't done things we regret or said something that we knew was wrong. But I'm sure as you've gotten older or even learned from mistakes, you started to move different. But this doesn't mean you can't slip up or even fail today. No one is perfect whatsoever. But at the end of the day, publicly humiliating yourself online will get you into a spotlight of thousands of people who have been preying on you to make a mistake again and again and again. When that turns into a pattern, well, again, you saw Twitter the day of his death. Chelsea Green wasn't even safe, trying to show love to someone she grew up watching. That's tough. And honestly, I think Ross from In the Clutch said it best.
I'm telling you this now, all these people that have this type of animosity towards Hulk Hogan and stuff like that, I'm willing to bet some of their favorite wrestlers that are still alive, some of their favorite entertainers, some of their favorite rappers, some of their favorite musicians, some of their favorite celebrities have said and done something that has either came out and they just gave them a pass, or hasn't came out, they don't even know it. Don't even know it. So we sit up here and we hold these individuals to such a high standard, and we always forget they are like you and me. They just are in the limelight. So what makes you think they don't say some wild stuff, or have done some wild stuff, or have made some mistakes that many others would try to cancel them for? It just so happened that his was so big and egregious, and he's one of the biggest wrestlers ever, that obviously people, that's the one thing they're going to harp on and stay on that, which goes back to my point earlier. There are consequences for the things you say and do, and people do not forget and will never forget. Some people will hold something over you for the rest of your life, even when they probably doing 10 times worse, but because you're famous and because they want to have this moral high point or this moral compass all of a sudden to prove a point on social media, they're going to ridicule you for that. And they will never let it go. Ever.
It makes a lot of sense why his family were trying to kayfabe his health now. The whole situation surrounding his death is a mysterious one though. Like, how did Bubba's source just know about the decline in Hulk's health? Was he really in a coma and his wife was just denying it to not get his name dragged in the media? I should say to prevent it from happening more if that's possible. And when Jimmy saw Hulk, was it really phenomenal? Or was Jimmy tweeting in character another way of coping with the fact that his friend's health was really spiraling in front of him? One thing that's for sure is, if people did a deep dive on all their favorite streamers, artists, or wrestlers and saw a peek behind the curtain on all their wrongdoings, would they still even look at them the same? Are we still going to sit here and act like the same prolific people haven't made a single mistake in life? Sometimes I feel like the IWC, more like the internet as a whole, is forgetting how to think for themselves. If you want to pull inspiration from others or follow blueprints of successful performers, nothing is stopping you from doing so. But you need to have your own actions and opinions. Sometimes I feel like the internet is a lot of bandwagon jumping and zero account for themselves.